So, Nate, thank you so much for being here. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, my name is Nate Webb. I'm a school counselor. I'm a public speaker. I'm a husband, and I'm a father. Um, I started this little Instagram called Bullies Be Gone like 6 years ago. That was the OG Instagram, just talking about bullying awareness, and then it turned into some overlap with digital safety. And so, a couple years ago, I just rebranded to just my name, Real Nate Webb, and started just sharing little tips and tricks about bullying and social media and digital safety from my car, and it kind of blew up. And I started speaking in schools, going across the country, and it's been a good ride. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I discovered you on Instagram and I thought it was great. You're just giving genuine advice from your car, just kind of like when you could. It's just great to listen to. As a matter of fact, you gave a great piece of advice, and I want to brag on you about this.
Oh,
You talked about how to better communicate with your kids, you need to really actually listen to what they're saying, but also you need to avoid quickly correcting them. And I realized that was something that like I was doing and that my wife was doing. And I made that small change, Nate, and it completely changed how like I communicated with my son and how he communicated with me, to like fully listen to him and not immediately jump in, because even as a human, as one adult to another, that's still a terrible way to communicate. But sometimes as adults and
mhm.
kids, we kind of lose that. So, man, I just wanted to start out by saying thank you for that, because that has been huge for me and my family.
Oh, goodness gracious, that's really kind of you. I'm about to cry here. That's really nice, man. Yeah, no problem. I'm super happy
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. And I know sometimes you're probably sitting in your car, making that video thinking like, oh, nobody's ever going to see this. What am I really doing? But it works, man. It really does. And that's why I'm just so excited to talk to you today.
Well, I'm excited for the conversation too, man. That's gonna be a good time.
Cool. So, what led you to take to social media to start sharing your advice and being able to roll that into being a public speaker? What was that motivation?
So like in the beginning, no. So like way back when I was a kid, right, I got bullied a lot. I got picked on a lot. And I fortunately was able to become better instead of becoming bitter. And when I, got on with my adult life, I really didn't think much about it until I got to college and I was getting my degree in psychology. And I realized it's a pretty useless degree by itself. And so I had to get a master's in something, and I was going to get it in school counseling. And then I thought, what can I offer for school counseling to get into the program? And what extra things do am I good at per se? And then I started thinking about my experiences getting bullied, and I started paying more attention to kids in local schools and seeing, oh wow, even though they're living in a much more technologically advanced age, they're still struggling with a lot of the same concepts that I had to learn pretty early on. And maybe if I can help them or help their parents understand these things earlier on, maybe I can help out. And so that's why I just started the Instagram, Bullies Be Gone, and then just little tips and tricks here or there. And then my wife has had an aunt that was a PTA president who was like, "Hey, I think our school would really benefit from your message." And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, PTA budget's pretty small. It's only like $500." And I was like, "I can get paid to do that? Yeah, it's a little bit. It's not much." And I mean, that was $5 million to me. Um, and so that was my first paid speaking gig. And just from there, I mean, I've given a lot of, whether it's paid or free, I enjoy sharing my message on various different stages. It's fun to educate people, but it's also fun. I have the most fun inspiring kids to love their lives, to spend less time on social media, and to be as kind as they can, to be the people they want to be.
That is amazing, man. Man, I salute you for doing this, because I know it's a lot to do. In addition to being a school counselor, being a dad, being a husband, and all that, you're still doing it, man. I so appreciate that. So let me ask you, what do parents need to know about bullying in 2025?
Oh, Um, I would say that it is sneaky. It is by degrees. It's kind of like the when you drop a frog in boiling water, it knows that it's boiling water and it jumps right out. But if you just inch up the temperature bit by bit by
Mm.
bit, frog doesn't notice, frog gets boiled alive. And that is what I feel like kind of the bullying situation is looking like in 2025. Um, back when I was a kid, I'm 32. I'm not that old myself. I graduated high school in 2011, so Facebook was big and Instagram had just come out, Snapchat had just come out. Um, but it was bullying was a lot more in your face, a lot more drastic, a lot more macho. But now it's a lot more relational. It's a lot more social, emotional. You still have your stereotypical, schoolyard bullies, but more and more, especially with the rise of technology, parents need to understand that I mean, with everything, there is a good side and a bad side. And unfortunately, the bad side of technology right now is that it is a primary conduit for bullying. That's where it's happening. And it's very sneaky. It's by degrees. They'll bit by bit chip away at your confidence, bit by bit chip away at your self-esteem, make you think things aren't true until your kid becomes someone that you don't even recognize because of the influence.
Right. So what I hear you saying is, bullying isn't just when your kid gets pushed down on the playground. It's also like this slow change in behavior over time
Oh
because
yeah.
people are just being negative, right?
Yeah, well, so case in point, like let's say like your kids at school, and they come home, but they bring their bullies home with them in their back pocket. They're looking online and they see that someone, posted on X, oh my gosh, so and so fell down at recess today. What an idiot. And then, I'm so and so. And people commenting down, oh yeah, they look so haggard, they're so dumb, they're so beta, blah 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 blah, skibbity toilet, whatever they're saying. And um, but about you look at the messages, you look at all the hate, you look at all the things, and people are saying things about each other. Kids are making like fake Instagram accounts so that they can talk about each other. Kids at schools are making like T accounts, TEA, if like Logan High School T, so our kids can
Mm, got
anonymously
it.
just backstab each
Gosh,
other and talk about each other. And so now
gosh.
kids are taking that home with them in their back pocket. And so that's what I mean by slowly chipping away at their self-confidence and their self-esteem, because outwardly it may look like things are going fine. It just looks like they're scrolling, but they're actually continuously consuming hatred. And eventually when you're consuming so much hatred, it finds its way back out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If that's the input that our kids are getting, it's obviously going to change the way they think and how they feel.
Yeah.
So like, what are some of the big myths that parents believe about bullying today, and what is really the truth?
Probably the biggest myth that parents believe is not my kid. Is that, oh, it's not gonna happen to my kid. My kid wouldn't do that. Um, because they underestimate what kids will do and say behind closed doors and from behind a screen. The human psychology is incredible, but when we do not have the ability to see how our words are impacting other people, it drastically changes what we are willing to do and say. And so what kids are doing and saying behind their screens, it's not even the same person as who
Mhm.
they are in person. Um, and so when parents are like, "Oh, that wouldn't happen to my kid," we talked about that, like it couldn't happen to my kid. I'm like, but it can, and it is, and it currently is happening to your kid. Um, Most parents don't believe that their kid could be a bully, and even though I believe there's no such thing as bad kids, every kid can be bred to be a bully.
Mhm.
It's just if if we're intentional with teaching them how to be kind, then it's a lot harder for the world to teach them how to hate. But if we are not intentionally teaching them how to be kind, then it's really easy for the world to teach them how to hate. I do not believe that bullies are born, but I do believe that bullies are bred.
Yeah.
And whether that's intentionally from parents just being mean to them, or when it's just unintentionally kind of neglecting them while the internet is teaching them how to teach other people. But yeah, just the not my kid mentality is what's killing parents right now.
Right. So, we have been talking about, bullying from, the target side of this but for, parents who have kids who are bullies, Like, how
Mm.
do they find out that it's their child who's responsible for bullying somebody else?
I mean, sometimes the only way they find out is when it comes to a head, right? When their kid gets caught. Um,
Mhm.
but I would say probably the best way to find out if something's going on with your kid, we kind of talked about this at the start. Talk to them. Talk to your kid. Be their parent. Hurt people turn around and hurt people. It's a cycle. So kids are hurting in some way, shape, or form. They're so full of hate and hurt that they're putting it out onto other people because misery loves company. And so somewhere along the lines there, those kids became so hurt and hurtful that that they put it back out into the world. And so they need someone to talk to. They need their parent to say, "Hey, something's changed. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to be coming at you, but I'm really trying to understand you. You know
Mhm.
what's going on? Are you okay? Nah, yeah. They'll get grunts at first, but the
Right.
more genuine you are, and the more you try, effort doesn't go unnoticed. It might take a few tries. It might take a few long walks together, but eventually that kid might open up. I've found that kids who are bullies often are in more need of support than those that they are bullying because they are already so full of that hate that they're putting it back out. And they need that support. The last thing they need is isolation. That's why it breaks my heart when it becomes necessary to suspend them because now they're isolated. Um, Obviously, kids need to be safe, but I would say parents just need to talk to their kids. They need to try to be as involved as they can. And it doesn't mean you have to, spend hours and hours because I don't understand. I have 4 kids. You don't have time to do that. But you do have time, 5, 10 minutes. eh, You have 5 to 10 minutes to freaking scroll on Facebook and Instagram every day. You got 45 minutes to play Grand Theft Auto while you're pooping on the toilet. But like you can't spare 5 to 10 minutes to just talk to your kid about their day and
Yeah.
then shut up and listen.
Mhm. You know,
Like,
you
that's
you
the
made
best way
the
to avoid it.
so, going back and taking a look at the kids who are the target of bullying, like, in a healthy way, how can
Mhm.
parents help a child who is being bullied?
The first thing they need to do, in my opinion at least, um, they need kids need to develop a sense of identity. A lot of times kids buy into what bullies are saying because, well, they don't know who they are. And so they believe what the bullies are saying. You're dumb, you're stupid, you don't belong, no one likes you, all these things. Like, oh, it must be true.
Mm.
But if they can develop a sense of identity, and that's coming from the parents, boosting them with positivity, telling them how much they love them, telling them how amazing they are, every chance they get, so that basically they love them louder than the world can hate them, giving them that sense of identity. I'm personally a religious person, grew up in a religious family. And so like I had an identity of that I am a child of God. And when, all that crap was going down, getting bullied, one of the first things my dad had me do was, write down, who do you want people to think of when they think of you? And I wrote down child of God. I want people to think of someone who's respectful, someone who is responsible, someone who's smart, maybe a little sarcastic. Like, what do I want people to think of when they think of me? And on the other side, we wrote down, what do I need to do to be that person? What do I need to change in my behavior so that my behavior lines up with the person who I want to be? And so it doesn't happen overnight, but when kids decide for themselves who they want to be, like bullies, social media, they lose their power. They can do what they want, they can say what they want, but it doesn't change that they know who they are. And so I would say start with that. Start with the sense of identity, a sense of self, knowing who they are, knowing their self worth, so that when the world comes knocking, they have that foundation to stand on. If everything else comes crashing down, they have that foundation to stand on. Um, a lot of times parents want to swoop in and take care of the situation for them. And if it's a dangerous situation where your child's, health and overall life is at risk, absolutely step in. But a lot of the times parents need to hold back. They need to kind of give their kid the confidence to solve their own problems and not swoop in and save the kid. Because when you swoop in and save the kid, you're telling the kid, I actually don't believe in you.
Oh.
And I don't think that you can do this on your own.
Oh. Okay. See, I thought you were gonna go a different direction there. I thought you were gonna say they were just always gonna rely on mom and dad to come and fix it, but man, that is yeah. Wow.
And because the kid's like, well, my mom and dad don't believe in me, I'm not even going to try. Yeah, mom, dad, come do it all the time because you're right. I'm not good enough. I
Wow.
can't fix this on my own.
Yeah. No, that's a great perspective. Yeah.
Versus when you let them handle it, you're telling them, hey, I trust you. I believe in you. I believe that you can do this hard thing. Someone's picking on you. Okay, go talk to them. Go talk to the principal. You can do this.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. By the way, I think I'm going to write down, do that exercise that your dad did with you, like today, about myself, just to try to be a better person in my 40s, man. So yeah, that's awesome. Um, we talked about the digital aspect of this, a little bit already, but
Mhm.
how do parents get involved with their kids' digital life without just being overbearing? How do we do that?
I think first parents need to take a step back with their kids and think about what are our values as a family? Like what do we believe in? What are our core values? And then with those core values in mind, what do we or do we not use technology for? We don't use it to look at
Mhm.
pornography. We don't use it to talk strangers online, and go through like what do we do and do not use it for? And then what are going to be the consequences if we do use it for the things that we're not supposed to, for both parents and for kids? And let the kids have input. So a lot of influencers right now, it's really popular to have like phone contracts.
Mhm.
Like here's your phone, you have a contract, be responsible
Sure.
with it or you
Right.
lose it. I don't like them personally because it makes it really a transactional relationship.
Mhm.
I like family tech plans where technology is not a me thing, it's a we
Mhm.
thing with the whole
Yeah.
family. The whole family's participating. It's not an individual burden. Um, and so that first, make a family tech plan with the family. But then second, have that expectation. Like if a kid gets a phone, yeah, you're using this phone, but at any time, because I'm the parent, I can look at it at any time, not because I don't trust you. I don't trust the millions of people who have access to you. And my algorithm looks very different from yours.
Right.
And so I want to know what you're up against. There's millions of adults who have been trained to reverse psychology, the attention span of children. And throwing a kid alone in that ring is not a fair fight. And so I want to be there in your corner too. So if I ask to look at your phone, it's not because I don't trust you. I just want to see what's going on with your algorithm, what social media is showing you, what YouTube is showing you. So I can be aware so that we as a family can be there to support you. And then just have the expectation that, well, there is no
Mm.
privacy when it comes to kids being
Right.
online. They should have no expectation of I can do things in secret because when they have an expectation of being able to do things in secret, that's when sneaky people, aka predators, will find their way into their life. And that's the last thing that parents want. And so I think it's funny when parents are like, how can I do this without being too overbearing? I'm like, you don't need to be scared of being overbearing. Just be transparent that here's the boundaries. And then you got to be a parent.
Mhm.
Well, that's not fair. Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you can't quite understand just yet. I promise you, you will.
Yeah.
But let's keep on talking about why we have our boundaries, not just say, because dad said so. Because then we create a forbidden fruit.
Mm.
And forbidden fruit becomes very desirable and very curious. And kids will go behind your back in so many different ways to get there. Being transparent is going to help kids stay out of trouble. And being transparent is also going to help kids actually follow those guidelines.
We gotta mirror that in our own lives and how we use technology in front of them, that sort of thing. I've been very cognizant
Mm-hmm.
of that here of late, of how often I'm in my phone, and I feel like I actually was talking with Ben, a family IT guy, about this exact same thing, and I was like, "Hey, man, like I feel really bad that I'm on my phone in front of my kid," and he's like, "No, it's that phone is made to be addictive to you, just like we say it's addictive to your kid. It is also addictive to you." So that's one of the things, like especially as
Yep.
you and I as dads, we've got to like focus on. All right, this is family time right now. I need to show my son this is what a man does, how he acts, or my daughter. It's like the guy that you date, the guy that you marry should do these sorts of things. So, and again, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's fair because parenting is hard, but man, that's just part of it.
Yep. Yes, it is. Well, that's the thing. We're supposed to make mistakes as
Hmm.
parents so that kids can see how we handle those mistakes. I think it's so funny. An example I bring up when I speak in schools is like at football games or sporting events in high schools, right? That's when adults usually decide to act like
Mhm,
children. And when it's so funny because they lose their crap, they lose their temper in public,
mhm.
in the stands or whatever. And then later on, they feel remorse. And so they'll pull that person aside in private, be like, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I was out of line, whatever. And I'm like, if you're willing to lose your crap in public, you should probably be willing to apologize in public too,
Absolutely.
so that your kid sees, oh, yeah, my parents inappropriately expressed their emotions here. And because of that, they are now apologizing for that. When the blowout is public, but the apology is private, kids just think, oh, okay. So if I'm at sports, I can be a total
Mhm,
jerk.
mhm.
That's totally fine. Gotcha. Cool. Thanks, Dad. Lesson learned.
Right.
Well, that's not what we
No,
want.
no, it's not. So for the parents who are listening right now, what is something that we can do to make sure that our kids feel safer at home today?
Um, I think something you could do today is when your kids are going to bed or tonight when there's, 5 minutes of chill or whatever, take 5, 10 minutes. Literally can be only 5 minutes and just say, I am sorry I haven't listened to you as much as I should
Mhm,
have. What's something I should know right now?
mhm.
I want to listen and I want to learn. And then shut up.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, it's that whole thing of you've got one mouth and two ears, so you're supposed to listen twice as much as you speak. Yeah, I like that. As we wrap it up here, Nate, you've gosh, man, you've given us so many good tidbits here. What is one thing that you kind of wish parents knew about raising kids in this digital world that we're in and how the physical world crosses that so frequently?
I think I wish parents would understand that their fear is doing more damage to their kids than anything else. Because they're afraid of pornography, they're not talking to their kids about pornography. Because they're afraid of sex, they're not talking to their kids about sex. Because they're scared of predators, they're not talking to their kids about predators. And their fear is preventing their kids from obtaining knowledge that will protect them. Parents think that if I don't tell my kids about these things and I put proper guidelines in place, then they won't have interactions with these things and I can wait and put off educating them and figure out the right time to bring it up. There is no right time, parents. The right time is now. Um, and so that's what wish they would know is that your fear is going to do more damage to your kid than anything else. Instead of being fearful, just be brave. It's hard to be a parent. It's hard to know when is the right time. It's okay if your 5-year-old knows what pornography is. Mine does. We read a book called Good Pictures, Bad
Right.
Pictures. I found it on Amazon. It's amazing. It really simply just describes what pornography is. It's bad pictures. And if you see anyone without any clothes on, you look away, turn the computer off, whatever it is, and go tell mom and dad immediately. You won't be in trouble as long as you're honest with us. Oh, wow, look, that wasn't traumatic at all. But we have the trauma behind it because of how we were raised. And
Mhm.
so that's what I just wish parents would know that your fear is doing more damage than anything else. Don't be afraid. Be brave.
Man, I tell you what, you've absolutely hit a grand slam here today, man. I appreciate this. I have learned from you in your Instagram stuff. I have learned from you here today, man. I appreciate it. Obviously, people are going to want to know more about you and your speaking opportunities. Where can they find you online?
Yeah. So my Instagram at real Nate Webb. I'm on Instagram. I have TikTok. I don't use it though. I'm on Instagram at real Nate Webb. And then yeah, it's probably the best place to find me. Just there on Instagram. I check my DMs regularly, comment, DM. I guess you could, if you're really interested in like a speaking engagement, you could email me, bullies.speaker@gmail.com. And that'll be in the notes below. So yeah, shoot, hit me up and we'll see what we can do to help save some kids.
All right, Nate, I appreciate you so much, man. God bless you.
God bless you too, man.